Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial. In this part, we are learning about creating global sustainable development goals, performance dashboards for different countries and regions. So, for example, if we select OECD region or Oceania region, we will be able to see all the countries in those regions and what is their overall score for the global sustainable development goals that they have. Meaning of these goals, etc., will be taught in this tutorial. You can see there are these 17 different goals that these countries have, and on the basis of these 17 goals also we have created another dashboard. So this is the overall performance where you can see what is the overall average of these different goals, and here you can see goal wise performance. For example, if the goal is, let me just see this. So for example, if the goal is affordable and clean energy that they will provide, how much percentage of that goal is achieved by a particular country. Clean water and sanitation, climate action, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, no poverty. So on the basis of these different goals, you can see their performance. In this part, we have not used these icons as a filter. In second part, we will use them. And most important thing is you will learn how to create this dynamic measure. So for example, we have our dynamic measure selector. This is our table, and then on the basis of this table we have a measure. So obviously the code is looking like very, you know, complicated with too much of characters here, but it is very easy to understand. So we will learn all of that, how to create these dynamic filters and see goal country wise. Also in the map you will learn how to apply these conditional colors, like on the basis of whatever value we have, how to apply conditional colors and use this simple legend to display that. So all of that will be discussed in this part, and this is a button with, when you will click this button, it will take you to the second report, and you can provide a back button here. So this is the first part. Let's get started with it. And so the data set that we are going to use in this project is Sustainable Development Report data set. This data set is available on this particular Kaggle URL, which you can see, where they have given the due acknowledgement to the original source of the report. On this URL, when you will check, you will find the files, and here you can see you will find the data set, meaning of the columns, and you will see acknowledgement section where they have given that it was retrieved from SDG Transformation Center. Now what is the purpose? This particular report, the Sustainable Development Report, tracks annual progress on the Sustainable Development Goal adopted by 193 UN member states in 2015, and at the midpoint to 2030, what was the target? The SDR 2023 evaluates global and national efforts toward achieving the SDGs. So I have given some context and content here, and in that particular data set we have two files. So you can see we have country name, region name, and overall score, and we have goal 1 score, goal 2 score, goal 3 score. So in this data set, understanding these goals is very important. So let me show you. So for example, the file that we are using is this second file, SDG report 2023.csv. And this file, country code, the country name also, region is the region to which the country belongs. Overall score is the overall sustainability SDG index score of the country. For example, goal 1 means no poverty, goal 2 zero hunger, goal 3 good health and well-being, and so on, like quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, and so on. So while creating, we will be copying these names, but that's how they have given the file, right? In the file, you can see here Instead of writing the exact goal name, they have given this, and you can see the percentage of achievement. So basically a high number here indicates that the country is closer to reaching their goal. Okay, and you can see in some cases it is given as 99.99, like in Croatia for goal 1 and so on. And for some of the goals, country may be behind, and in some cases we do have some missing values. So based on this, whatever values we have, whatever data we have, we will try to create a simple dashboard to analyze this data. Now to analyze the data, we will simply open Power BI desktop. Using Power BI desktop, first of all we'll connect the data set. Data set is given as a CSV file. So we will go to sustainability reports folder where I have saved the data. I will simply connect it. Now this is the data set that we have. We have some categorical columns as country and region, and we will simply load the data. We will quickly give this a name, and this is going to be Global Sustainable Development Goal. So along with understanding a real-time problem, or working on something that is there for real-time data set that we have, we will be also learning a lot of things that we can do as a Power BI developer. And from here, first of all, we can go to view and change something where we have some more green in it. So let's go with it, and we can select a dark green heading for it. So this is Global Sustainable Development Goal SDG Performance Dashboard for 2023. So when I search sustainable development on Canva, I found some icons here. So let's just use that in our report. So we'll call it SDG and let's download, and then we can insert that icon here. Our goal is just for educational and reference purpose. Use these icons so that people can easily recognize what type of analysis are we doing, and then we can copy this format painter and apply the setting here as well. We will simply create a shape. So insert shape, where we are going to put our filters. So in this shape, I am going to put it on, you can put it either left hand side, right hand side, wherever you want to put. Here we are going to put some filters, and in the shape you can see we have border, so it is okay. In the shape itself, I just want to give 14 or 15% as the rounded corner, not 25%. Now it is good. Now you can see on that shape we have just put a filter. So using slicer, okay, we can put a filter over here. In the slicer, what we have done, slicer setting, drop down, slicer header, obviously name as country, font color, we are using this particular font color, you can see here. And in values, we have selected a little bit of darker shade of that same color so that we can see the names properly. If you want, you can use this color. Now this is a slicer that we are going to filter our reports, obviously, and similarly we can create a copy of it. And one more thing is, this slicer is transparent, so we have just gone to general settings. In effects, we have removed the background. Okay, we have enabled a shadow and a visual border, giving it a 12 pixel of rounded corner. Second slicer will be the region. There are different regions, so we will add that, and in slicer header we will use this heading. Now in regions, you can see we have Eastern Europe and Central Asia, we have East and South Asia, LAC, MENA, Oceania, OECD, etc. So these regions are there, which will be used as filters here as well. Now what we can do is we can create two dashboards here, one with the overall performance and one with goal wise performance, or we will create a dynamic measure there. Now to show overall performance, we will use a field map because we have many countries here, and in the field map we will use location. So in location obviously we'll use country. So you can see it will populate and color all the countries that we have. Let's wait. So you can see whatever countries it is recognizing, it has already filled them. So more. So now you can see loading has stopped and it took some time to load, but now we have this field map where we can see whenever we are taking our mouse over any country, we can see the name. And next thing is, let's say if we select a region, so you know will that filter be applied? So for example, Eastern Europe and Central Asia, or for example OECD members. So you can see, so this is something that we had to check. Country wise also you can test it, and then after that you can see it is still showing us a dark blue color, and it is not showing us any type of performance. And for that, what we have to do, first we have to add some number as a tooltip. So the overall score that we have, we are going to add it as a tooltip, and you will see that it will not change anything. This is showing us sum of overall score. So obviously because it is a country wise information, so country wise it is sum is going to be same as whatever we have selected, or we can select average also. It is not going to make any difference. Okay, so now what we can see here, that it is showing us, but we have to show these colors as a gradient, and for that we will go to format your visuals. First of all, in map settings you can select what type of map you want. It can be a grayscale, I prefer it, or a dark map, or let's go with road map. So whatever you prefer. In aerial also we can select, but I think you will not be able to view the measures properly. I think I will prefer this one. And now here I will go to fill colors, and in fill colors you can see the default blue color is there, the theme default blue color. You can go to FX, and so now you can see once we have selected the field map, and in the field map we can see different colors. So what I have done is, like if a particular country has overall score of more than 78, then it will be shown as a dark green color. If between a particular range, then this. So how to do that? So first we selected a field map. In field map we will go to fill colors. In fill colors you can see we have a conditional formatting. In this conditional formatting I selected a rule here, because when I selected the gradient it was not appearing properly. So this is my just my way of showing. You can change these numbers also. So I if value is 0 to 48, because in the data set I can see minimum value is 38 also, right? So if value is between that range, so you can see we can sort in largest to smallest, and it is already sorted. And if value is in that range, right, so 0 to 48, then red color. If 49 to 58, then orange. 59 to 68, yellow. Then light green, then dark green. And you can add more steps also if you need. So you can just click on new rule, and you can add, if value is less than or greater than equal to something and less than something, then what color you want. So on the basis of this you can select. And what we have done is, the metrics that we have selected is overall score, and summarization is sum. So you can see on the basis of that it is going to show the colors. So for example, for Brazil it is 73 light green, for India in the range of 63 yellow color, even for Mongolia you can see. So whatever data we have, as per that we can color them. And now if you will select region, let's say OECD, okay, on the basis of that we can see in most of the OECDs it is in the green range. In case of Oceania, in case of MENA, okay, or maybe Eastern Europe. So you can see on the basis of different country groups that we have. So sub-Saharan, so you can see the overall colors here. So this is something that you can create from your end as well. So actually when I placed these numbers, I wrote 48, 58, 58, 60 and so on. So I am now using those numbers where I left in the previous group. So now you can see some of the countries which were appearing as blue are also now properly being displayed. Okay. So this way you will be able to see the sustainability development goals, overall performance of these countries, and based on whatever legend you have created we can add some image also. This is basically an image which will work as a legend, and you can place it here. For this image we can go to style section. You can use the type of scaling that you want, okay, and in general we have effects, so we can give some kind of visual border or shadow if needed. Now what I am going to do is duplicate this, and here we will show goal wise performance. So in goal wise performance the idea is we will show all these goals. There are 17 of them, and on the basis of these goals, when someone will select any particular goal they will be able to see performance of that particular goal. So in one of our previous examples, although this is completely different data set, but here we had companies revenue, expenses, gross profits as different type of measures, and we created a simple filter, and you can see now on the basis of selected filter graph is changing. So what we did, we created a data table called KPI selector. So here we will call it goal selector, right? And you will select that particular goal, and we will be and after that particular goal is selected, whatever that selected value is, like on the basis of selected value we are going to show something. So just like we created for different type of KPIs that we have here, on the basis of information given for each goal here, we also have created one for this data set. So you can see, and like goal number 1, no poverty, zero hunger, etc. So from here you can see it is created, and we will go to our dashboard, and in the dashboard we are going to create another table. So in the modeling tab, the first step for dynamic KPIs is to create a table. So this table will have all these names, and when you will create that, so what we are doing is we are using a function called data table. In this function we type the name of the column, what type of values are there, and whatever values are there we write them inside curly brackets, and every value is written inside curly brackets inside a double quote. So that's how our data table will be created, and when you see that, you can see the column name, and you can also see all the values are there. So now the problem is, here these names are given as goal 1, goal 2, etc. So we have to create another measure here. That's what we did. So here we will select a measure, like selected KPI value is using the switch case. So if selected value is from the table, from the KPI selector table, if it is KPI, okay, so here you can see that what is that KPI, that is the column name. So in our case, what is the column name? In our case, the column name is SDG goal. So to replicate that, what we will do here, so we will go to our new our old table, and we will create a new measure here, and we'll call it selected KPI value. So what we will use is SDG goal selector. This is the table name. So we will use SDG goal selector, and SDG goal is the column name. So when it is selected, okay. So if any value from the selected goal is there, and if that value is, now what that value can be, you already know, like no poverty. So let me show you one of them. So if that value is no poverty, let me write that in a notepad. So you can see, if that value is no poverty, then what we are going to do, so if that value is no poverty, then we are going to select sum of financial data OPEX. Okay, so on the basis of that, we have to select. So let me fix that first of all. So let's try this. Now you can see no poverty, this. All we have to do is replace your data table with the table name, which is Sustainable Development Report 2023. So I will just rename or I will just copy the table name, and obviously I am taking some help of GPT and all. So sorry, not here. Here in selected value we will change. So you can see now no poverty. This is table name goal 1. Why we are not, we could have directly used these KPIs like goal 1, goal 2, etc. But people will not be able to understand what is the meaning of goal 1. So we will say no poverty, and this is as per the data set. So now you can see we have given the table name properly. Let's see. So now this measure is a dynamic measure, and it is going to select whatever we have selected, right? So if no poverty is selected, then it will show sum of goal 1 score. If sustainability development is selected, it will show sum of goal 2 score. Remember, if you want to, because I want to show one country at a time, but we also have region filter. So instead of sum, we can also use an average score. So if a single value is selected, that average score will actually show the actual value. But suppose a group is selected, like a group of countries, like we have in region. So in that case, we can see their overall average score also. So I'll just paste it in notepad and replace sum with not John, average. Let's replace all. Is there any mistake? No. And obviously whatever measure or whatever aggregate function you want to use is as per your own choice. Now the thing is, in this goal wise performance, so here we are going to first of all change the title SDR 2023. So we will just write score by country, and we'll do something about it. So this is score by country. Now here, okay, what we can do, we can use a slicer. So we can add a slicer here, not here. So first let's copy this, and here we can use a slicer, and in that slicer we are going to select the SDG goal selector, okay, and we will select that goal. So what will be the values? These will be these different values that we have, okay. What we can do, we can go to slicer setting and at least show it as a vertical list so that people can easily select from it. And at least in this case, I will go to values and select a light font color so that I can see them properly. Now if I select affordable, it shows same. If I select clean water, it shows same. Why is this happening is because here the measure that we have selected, that particular measure is actually selecting some of overall score. So For that we are going to select the selected score in tooltips, and even though it will keep showing this, right, because the fill colors configuration that we created was on the basis of sum of overall score. What if we select on the SDG score? Okay, so selected SDG value, and if that value is in this way, so it will do its trick. So right now you can see we have empty data here, which is just showing country name. What if we select affordable and clean energy? So now you can see for affordable and clean energy, what are the different ESGs, or what are the different SDG scores. Here for clean water, you can see it's a different thing. So country wise we can select this score, and we also want to know what is selected. So for that we will simply go and create a card here. Obviously, see, there are a lot of ways of doing this. I'm just adding a card. So in this why is it not letting us place a card? Okay, now so we will just select a card, and what will be that card's value is the selected value. Okay, so it is selected SDG value, but we don't want to show the value, we actually want to show the goal that is selected. So climate action is selected, decent work and economic growth is selected, right? I will go and first of all disable the slicer header, or sorry, disable the category label. For callout value, I am going to use a smaller value, let's say around 20 pixels, or even a smaller, let's say 15 pixels. And in general, I will remove the background so that I can place it over the map. And here now I can increase the map size. You can see the that particular card is just behind this map. So what I'm going to do is, in format, I will send the map to back. Okay, so when I will send the map to back, I will be able to select this. So SDR 2023 score by country and showing decent work and economic growth. Now you can just make it bold, or select any kind of color for it, and whatever you will select, you will be able to show that value. So now let's say for no poverty, what is the overall score? For partnership, for the goals. So this way you can create a dynamic measure, and this is one way of creating two charts. So that's why we have these two reports. And in overall performance, what we can do is we can add goal wise performance link. So we can create a simple button here. So you will find it inside insert, and you can see we have buttons here. So like right arrow, left arrow, or a blank button, clear all slices, those kind of buttons are there. So we are just adding a blank button here, and for this button the action that we are making is page navigation, and it will take you to goal wise performance. Or you can also use some kind of image for that purpose, or an arrow for that purpose, and we can add a simple text box over here also, goal wise, and line it to center. For this, let's remove the background, let's select light color, make it bold, and this way we can place that over that particular button. So whatever you want to do, like here you can see the goal wise performance. We can put a hyphen here so that it is not giving us any type of error. So now here also I will reduce it, I will check that later, but this particular button, when you will click, it will take you to goal wise performance when you will publish the report. And in that goal wise performance, some goal will be selected. Now let's say why we selected average. Let's say we want to select this group. So now you will be seeing the average values. Okay. And similarly for Oceania, for East and South Asia, etc., etc., and for OECD also, whatever average values are there, you can select them. So this is a simple chart that we can do. Let's say we select no poverty as default. So and then we clear the region filter. You will be able to select that. So this is a two-page report that we have created so far. Later what we can do, we can create some really amazing icons for them. So that is something that I'm going to do later, like for affordable and clean energy, clean water and sanitation, you can create some really good looking icons. And then what you can do, like in this particular section, you can place those icons so that we can select. And on the selection of those icons, the report will change. So this is something that I am going to demonstrate in the second part. So this is the first part where we learned about creating the overall performance, and when you will click on goal wise, you will be able to see goal wise performance. So try that from your end and see whether you are able to create something like that. If you have any problems, you can ask them in the comment section. Uh, Thanks for watching this tutorial. I will provide the link of dataset and some description so that you can go through that. Thanks for watching this. Have a nice day.